Granddad Gerald slammed his palm onto the holiday table. The noise sealed the room tight. Glasses shivered. Someone's laugh choked off mid-sound. I sat frozen, a forkful of turkey suspended halfway to my lips, wrist locked as though the air itself had hardened. He ignored the meal entirely, his eyes fixed across the centerpiece on my father. Why is an outsider managing the cold storage and logistics firm in Texas that I purchased and placed in Alina's name 4 years back? My pulse rose into my throat. I set the fork down carefully, allowing surprise to spread across my features. Granddad, what do you mean? I kept my tone quiet. I don't even hold a savings account. How could I possibly own a business? Mom's smile turned overly bright too quick. Dad's grip tightened on the carving knife. My brother Miles stopped chewing, his gaze flicking everywhere except toward Granddad. Sophie's fingers twisted her napkin into a thin cord. Granddad bent forward, elbows planted on the tablecloth. Travel wrinkles still marked his suit sharply. A few weeks earlier, Jonah Haskell phoned me by accident. He believed I was still in charge of operations. Gerald's stare held the entire room. He offered congratulations on the new proprietor, mentioning that the warehouses were growing and the delivery routes multiplying under someone called Caleb Hart. Caleb Hart, I repeated, soft as a quiet prayer, the name strange on my tongue. I've never heard of him. No one reached for a glass. No one drew a loud breath. The tree lights flickered in the corner, bright and out of place, painting color across faces that had gone white. Then a knock sounded at the front door. 3 sharp raps, formal in a manner carolers never used. Granddad stayed still. That will be for us, he stated. The door swung open to 2 uniformed officers and a woman in a charcoal coat holding a rigid briefcase. The officers stood waiting, expressions empty. Maurice Prout, Granddad Gerald announced. My lawyer. Mom shoved her chair back from the table. Gerald, please don't. Maurice lowered the case. The clasps clicked open, folders emerged. She pushed one toward me. Alina, you have not given anyone permission to sell or transfer that Texas company, correct? I shook my head. No, Dad attempted a steady tone. It's Christmas. We can discuss this afterward. Afterward is exactly how this situation developed, Granddad replied. Maurice flipped a page, state records listing Caleb Hart as the main owner. Another sheet, a power of attorney document bearing my name at the bottom, my signature imitated just closely enough. Miles leaned closer, color rising in his face. That's hers. Maurice laid 2 enlargements side by side, my lease signature and the one on the form. Identical letters, she noted, different handwriting. She indicated a faint yellow pattern along the edge. Printer microdots placed this page months later than the date it claims. Dad clutched his chair. Mom watched the paper as if it might strike. Maurice drew out one more packet. Email headers and screen captures. Anonymous messages sent to recruiters right after my job interviews labeling me unreliable. Throwaway accounts, she explained. Yet the source IP traces back to this house. Miles jerked his eyes toward Mom. You said it was for her benefit. It was, Mom murmured, voice breaking. I was frightened. The table exploded, excuses, charges, everyone scrambling for a story that left them blameless. I remained motionless, allowing the uproar to reveal the truth. Granddad lifted his hand. Quiet fell at once. I did not bring them here to debate, he said. I brought them here to finish it. Maurice opened the final folder and angled it toward Miles. Signature examination, she stated. The pressure patterns and pen lifts match his bank card, not Alina S. Miles blinked rapidly. Dad's chair scraped backward. Mom seized her water glass. Granddad Gerald kept his voice level. And the funds, Granddad tapped another sheet. His revised will notarized, naming me alone. I filed the fraud report weeks ago, he continued. Tonight it becomes reality for all of you. Maurice placed statements in the middle. Wire transfers, one after another, into a joint account under my parents' names. The memo line read asset purchase payment. All those months of stretching grocery money, all those interviews that led nowhere. This explained everything. Dad swallowed hard. We were sinking, he said. The debts, the suppliers. You sold my future, I answered, and you wrecked my chances to create a new one. Mom's features collapsed. I was trying to protect you. Protection means being told the truth, I replied. Not being confined, Miles let out a breath. Sophie knew a buyer, he confessed, eyes locked on the tabletop. Caleb Hart, quick transaction. I signed whatever they handed me. We needed money before the bank claimed the house. Sophie whispered. I only arranged an introduction, but no one responded. One officer moved forward. Miles Archer, document slid across the surface. You are served. An interview is required regarding suspected document fraud. When the door closed, the house seemed smaller. Granddad collected the folders and rested a hand briefly on my shoulder. Steady, I studied my family's lowered heads and felt the final shred of pretense slip away. I am finished shielding you, I said. I am choosing myself.